Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Thursday, the 14th of May. Today is Ascension Day, so happy Ascension Day. I kind of look like I'm getting ready to teach something. I am currently, as I record this, all this week, Archdeacon Cheryl and I are up in the Paw in mid-northern Manitoba, where we are doing sort of running out. We've been in Cormorant, we've been in Grand Rapids, we'll be in Thompson today, and we will be up in Easterville on Sunday and with lots of meetings in between. We're having a phenomenal week. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about vocation. One of the big things we've been discussing sort of every day, many times a day, is the call to vocation. And today's perfect because we are ordaining the Reverend Deacon Dave Sanderson to the Order of Priests this evening. And this is an exciting time. We have this sometimes in the church, we have this idea that we have some kind of a hierarchy that, it's great to be a lay reader, like an important person who contributes to the life of the church and leads worship and morning prayer and can read and can visit people and everything. And that's great. And we license these people to show that they've been trained properly and that they understand the seriousness of what they're doing. And then we have people ordained to the role of deacon, which is servant. And they serve the church, they serve outside the church. And then we have the role of priest and then bishop. And sometimes, quite often, I'm finding that there's this understanding that there's some kind of hierarchy. Like you can be a lay reader, but it's better to be a deacon. And you can be a deacon, but it's better to be a priest. And you can be a priest and you quietly come sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes people hope for that they'll become a bishop. They call it purple fever. Like this doesn't look very purple, but it's technically purple. That you get to be a bishop. And that's horse hockey. It is horse pucky. It is horseradish. It's all the things that horses. It's not. Vocations are things that we're called to, that God plants in our hearts, not some hierarchy or some corporate ladder we're walking. And I don't know how to help people shake that from their heads. I have met incredible people who are amazing lay people who aren't even licensed. They just live their faith, their baptismal promises in the church, in the world. I have met incredible people who are licensed lay readers who have very specific and niche roles they play in the church that the church could not do without them. And I have met people who are deacons and people who are being called to become vocational deacons, like permanent deacons, where their service will be in service to the church. They do specific things within the liturgy, but then they leave the church. They go outside the church into the world, and then they come back to the church to interpret the world to the church, that we understand what it is the world needs, how we're better we can share the good news of Jesus Christ with people. And I've met priests who are so faithful, so beautifully fulfilling the vocation God has on them, that they do it, and they will do it, some of them for free. Like, be great if we could pay everybody, but they do it because God has called to them and placed God's hand on their heart and said, come and be a priest and do this work. And I have been meeting people and having interviews and conversations with people who are called to all these different levels of ministry. Who knows? Maybe some of them, or one of the people I've talked to this week, might someday be called to be a bishop. I don't know. But I really, really am excited about listening to people's enthusiasm about their vocations. And on the other hand, at the same time, I'm frustrated because we still have this idea in the world that somehow to be wearing a collar, which I haven't put on yet today, to wear the fancy shirts, to be known as father or mother, as the case may be, or my lord bishop or things like that those are somehow better than simply being the person God called us to be as we live out our vocation of our baptismal promises. We need to find a way in the church to let go of the trappings and the understanding that somehow someone, because of what they do or what they wear or where they sit or stand during a church service, are somehow more important than everyone else. No, because the fact is, I can be a bishop, but if I don't have priests, deacons, and lay people, there's nothing to be a bishop for. I could be a priest, but if there's nobody before me for me to share the sacraments with, because in the Anglican Church, we do not celebrate a Eucharist by ourselves. There must be two people. So unless I have other people with me, my trying to be a priest is it for naught. And I could be a deacon, but if I don't have the desire and the people to go and serve, then what's the point of being a deacon? It comes down to our baptismal promises. That is that is the highest form we can have. That moment when we acknowledge, and maybe for some people they're infants at baptism, that moment in confirmation when they say for themselves, I am me, and I am called by God, and I get to do this incredible thing of living a life and being faithful to Jesus Christ. And I get to do it in the context of all these people who are my church community. That should be the moment that we all say, aha, eureka, I get it. This is the pinnacle of my ministry. And everything else is, it's lateral. It's like, okay, so how are you going to serve in that ministry? Are you going to serve as a Sunday school teacher? Are you going to be a stay-at-home mom? Are you going to be a hockey coach? Are you going to be a professor? Are you going to be a lay reader in the church who can create and craft the prayers of the people and then pray on behalf of the people? Are you going to be a server helping the clergy in the church to prepare the altar and help people to receive communion? Are you going to be a deacon or a priest or a bishop? Those are all the lateral things. That moment, the peak we get to is our moment of baptism or confirmation when we make that decision for ourselves. That's what I've known in my heart forever. And that is what has been coming home to me all this week. It's very powerful. And this evening, as we ordain Dave Sanderson from the order of deacon to priest, he'll still be a deacon forever, just like he is always going to be a baptized Christian. It's not, do we take one thing away? We add to it. We add more orders of ministry. But this evening, as we ordain him a priest, as the priests lay hands on him who are gathered to ordain him a priest, we aren't elevating him to something. We are setting him aside for a very particular kind of ministry. And that's exciting. What kind of ministry has God commissioned you to do and set you aside to do? Because I guarantee you, you have a vocation. Let me know in the comments what your vocation might be, or what you're discerning your vocation might be. Have a great day. God bless you. I hope I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel. If one doesn't pop up for Friday, that's simply because I just got so silly busy I didn't have time to record. I'm running a little behind on these. I like to have them ahead of time, but such is life. Have a great day and God bless.